Okay, if you've seen the movie The King's Speech, you probably loved it. I'm confident saying that. If you haven't seen it, you are probably thinking what I was thinking before my friends and my wife forced me to see it. Why on earth would I watch a movie about a dead guy with a stutter? Well, let me tell you, it is not about a stutter. It's about friendship, it's about courage, it's about empathy and royalty, and by the way, a stutter. Listen.
My husband has seen everyone.
Insert them into your mouth. Enunciate.
He hasn't seen me. I can cure your husband, but I need total trust. What was your earliest memory?
I'm not here to discuss personal matters.
Well, why are you here then?
Because I bloody well stammer.
Do you know any jokes?
Timing isn't my strong suit.
Joining me now live to tell us about all about it is the producer of The King's Speech, Ian Canning. I guess he talked about a stammer, and I said a stutter. You can inform me a little bit about the difference. But I have to tell you, Ian, I was forced kicking and screaming into this movie because I just could not, from reading about it and being told about it, why on earth this was going to be interesting. And I came out thinking everybody I know has got to see this movie. Tell me, for everybody out there who has not seen it, what is so fascinating about this?
Well, I think for us, in particular as well, when we first started putting the film in front of audiences, we didn't actually realise that we'd made a comedy as much as anything else. So that was a huge thing for us. But I think also the film really deals with this very key friendship between Colin Firth playing King George VI and Lionel Logue played by Geoffrey Rush, and how one man is overcoming his fears while the other is being a good friend.
King George VI, known as Albert or Bertie as he was growing up, an accidental king, a resistant king, but he comes into, he becomes the king at a time when Great Britain is going into war and is now called upon to actually be able to speak to the nation and speak to the world, but he can't speak. Normally. He can't speak without stammering and without hesitating. And so this story is one that hadn't really been told. People know the story, but it hadn't been told to this degree. Why did you decide it needed to be told?
Well, I think a lot of the history of King George VI has been forgotten and is not even that much taught in schools, even though it's the current Queen's father. And I think also what's been really interesting is how that story has resonated with people all over the world.
Do you know, by the way, whether or not anybody in the royal family has watched this movie? This story is about the current Queen Elizabeth's father.
I mean, you never know. As a film, when you go through development and you're developing the script, you approach the palace and you ask them for any help, and they're very, very strict in how they deal with drama in any form. With documentaries, they help, but with drama, they really help you with fact-checking. And in terms of whether anyone in the royal family has seen the film, we still don't know whether the Queen saw the Queen, so we may never know.
Right. But the Queen, the movie The Queen, was not nearly as complimentary, I didn't think. I got the impression that you made Albert, King George VI, a sympathetic figure.
Well, it's a very strange thing, and our director Tom Hooper has spoken about it, that usually when you're starting to make a film about characters that are true in real life, you normally get to speak to their family members, but that was one family which, unfortunately, given their rules, we don't get to speak to.
Was it accurate? Was this how much of this was dramatized, and how much of this was real history?
A lot is real history. We had a royal advisor on set and looking at the script before we made the film. We had an advisor in terms of ceremony and how royal events are handled. And we also were lucky enough to find the papers that Lionel Logue, his diaries that he'd written just as we were starting pre-production. So we were able to take all these wonderful facts from the diaries and include them in the film.
Ian, I really did enjoy the film. I don't offer that out too much, so thanks very much for making it. Ian Canning is the producer of The King's Speech, joining me from New York City.